Okay, so I'm going to start prepping for my first night at camp. So my first night is going to be just what I can fit in my Bergen. Now my Bergen is the snug pack Bergen, which is around about 100 litres once it's full. It's not fully full at the minute, so what I'm going to go for tonight is a hammock camp. Because of how hot it is, it's going to be nice overnight as well. I haven't done a hammock camp for absolutely ages, so yeah, I want to go for a hammock camp. So I want to get the area squared away and sorted, and then get my hammock set up, get tarp set up, etc. And then I'll explain camp. I am going to record it, but I'll speed it up so it's a little bit quicker. Okay, so this is the area I'm going to use. As I say, this is my Bergen. So it's the 70 litre, no, the 100 litre snug pack Bergen. So what I'm going to do first is, this is going to be sped up, so it's going to be really quick. So I'm going to get my gloves out, I'm going to clear the area where I'm going to have my tarp. So I'll put that there, you let me expect some wood. So I'm going to clear all this area of the rocks and etc. that I don't need here, and sticks etc. that's all underneath. And then I'm going to use that tree, so this one here, this sycamore, and this larch to set my hammock up. So it's going to make it easier to walk around. I ain't going to throw this too far, these small branches, because I am going to collect some sticks for a fire later. I have got a little fire pit to use because the ground's quite dry. I will be using a little fire pit that I've got, which I don't think I've used before on the channel. It's not my Winnowell one, it's another little fire pit that's off the ground slightly. So get this set up. So I just want to move the twigs out of the way so it's a little bit easier to walk around, mainly. Might need some of these bigger, longer, straighter sticks later to bring the top side of my tarp up. So it's like my tarp's going to go above here. I'm going to put it above head height. We are due some weather in the morning, so I looked at the weather reports, and we are due some bit of rain. So I want to put the tarp up nice and high. It's my 3 metre by 3 metre DD tarp, so I'll have plenty of coverage. So I'm going to use my quick deployment line which I've put together, and then yeah, I'm going to get this tarp up, so I will bring you back once I'm set up and ready. Okay, so I've got my hammock up. So this is the DD, I think it's camping hammock. So it's quite a large hammock. It's made out of like silk nylon. It's got a zip down the one side, so you can actually get inside it if you want. There's a zip somewhere, wherever it's gone. There. There's a zip here, so you can actually get inside it if you want and like cocoon yourself in. Or what I'll probably do is I'll probably put a blanket inside, spread it out, and then wrap myself over it. It's going to be quite warm tonight, so I think I'll just be warm enough in maybe this and a small blanket. I've got one of the American woobies, I think they're called, which is like a really thin liner for like a tarp. So I think I'm going to go for that rather than a sleeping bag. I can just wrap it over me, maybe over inside that little sleeve or on the just actually lying on it, and just a pair of shorts. So now that's set up, I know where I need to put my tarp. So I've got my line up with my quick deployment and my Pro6 on, so I can stretch my tarp out. So I'm going to get the tarp out. I'm going to have it quite high and have it out. I'm going to leave this one side open for now for admin, and then I'm going to put a ground sheet down so I can take my trainers off, etc. And then I want to get my fire pit out, get it all set up and ready, get everything sorted, so I can just leave it and I'll just crack on with the rest of my day. It's about 1:20 now, so I'm still quite warm. You will see sweat patches starting to appear. So I'm going to get the tarp up and get that squared away. So I'm going to use a taut tar pitch, which I think I've shown on the channel before, just so I can adjust the tension of these if I need to throughout the day and night. I am cheating, to be honest. I'm using these big pegs, so they're about 10, 8-inch nails with a bit on the end, like a plastic bit. This ground's quite soft, so it's good to have these big nails. But I say by cheat, by twice. I've had these probably 10 years. I brought them when I first started in the cadets, and I've still got them, and they lasted 10 times longer as these little ones you buy, these little shepherd hook ones. So let's get this last one out. So as you see, I did flip it over, so I'm using the underneath one to peg out, the underneath section of the tarp to peg out my sides, and then later on I will obviously flip it over and tie it down at the front. As I say, we have got a bit of weather coming in the morning, so just gotta get rid of all the roots. There we go. So as I say, on this corner again, taut tarp hitch, taut line hitch, whatever you want to call it. So it's taut line hitch, isn't it? Sorry, not taut tarp. Which is a friction knot, which we'll show in depth as a short in this video. So there's the back section set up, and obviously this one will come over the top and be pegged down at the front, and that'll create my apex to be underneath while, just in case it does rain. Okay, so I've got my ground sheet down. I am going to carry on walking on this, but I'm going to, I'll give it a dust off before I get in tonight. So this is what I think I'm going to sleep in tonight. So this is the American GI, whatever you want to call it, Wubby. So as I say, it's a liner for a tarp, basically, but it's a very thin, very lightweight material, as these ties are designed to tie onto the inside of a tarp and wrap yourself up in it. So this is going to be my bed, my bedding, I think, for tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of it and just lay it inside, and then when I get in later I'll just wrap myself up in it. Now a lot of you who do this kind of thing will know that you can have an under blanket with hammock camping, which you could turn this into one. So if you got some paracord and puckered that up there with some paracord, tied it up, potentially the other end, you could make a under blanket or go corner to corner and wrap it around you. So there is a tie off point there, so you could tie that off to there and then tie it off at that end, wrap it up, wrap yourself up in it. So it could be a makeshift yeah, a makeshift under blanket. But as you can see, I'm 6 foot and it's just bigger than me, so it should work perfect for being like a blanket. So I'm just going to drop that in there. I want to hang it over the sides a touch. I'm going to drop this inside the... Whoa! God, I hate hammocks. So inside there, and then when I get in later, I'll just try and sort myself out and try and get myself to kind of be inside it a little bit. But I don't hammock camp very often, and I've got to be honest with you, this is why. It's all a bit of a faff in it. But I'm going to have a crack tonight because it's such a nice weather. I am going to have a go. I might put it inside and just wrap myself up in the actual, I don't know yet, we'll see. But that's kind of the setup for tonight. So that obviously front bit will come over later, but I'm going to have a little crack in a minute off camera just in case I fall out. Okay, so this is my cooking setup for this evening. So this is the UCO mini fire pit grill barbecue. So it's a little stainless steel folding fire pit, which I'll show you tomorrow when I collapse it down. So I'm going to get the fire going in there. I've got plenty of dead dry larch mainly, so small sticks, medium sticks and large sticks. Now this is only for cooking tonight. So I've got my TJM Metalworks mini fire anchor with my billy pot, which is the fire maple tonka, something like that. The fire maple billy pot with the handles on and the locking lid. I've got rice with like a lentil bolognese tonight. So because I've got access to water to wash up, there's some water butts here. I am going to make it in the pot. So I'm going to boil up the rice first, get that going. So just a little bit of water in the bottom, and then steam up the rice, chuck the lentil bolognese in, and then yeah, warm it through. I've got my 1 litre bottle of water here, which I'll will obviously nail by then, so I have got access to some more water up here. But yeah, got my food in there, so I'm gonna have my tea later on tonight. And this is my setup for today, really. I've just tried getting in this, wrapped in that, and it is a bit of a nightmare. So I'm just going to go with the flow really and just see how it pans out. I might end up on the floor tonight on my airbed, but yeah, because I don't do hammock camping very often because I've got a bad back as well. So, but yes, this is going to be me set up for tonight. So this is my first night at the woodland. So tomorrow night will be something different, and then the next 3 nights will be something different really. So, but yeah, this is my first one, which I thought, because it's nice and cool, so it's nice and hot at the minute, it might be a bit cooler in the old hammock. So, but yeah, I'll get this pulled over later, because as I say, we are due some rain in the morning. So I'll get this tarp pulled over later, and we should be golden. But yeah, if you haven't seen these TGM Metalworks mini fire anchors, they're really good for this kind of thing. This is the one that's got the hook on it, and it's just adjustable, so you can go up and down. So I need it right at the top, so I can just keep feeding small sticks in. This fire is only going to be for cooking, so I'm going to use the larch to get it going, and just keep feeding little bits till it boils up. What I need. So it does come with a little grill in there as well, a good quality grill, but you need to feed sticks. This is very good with coals. This is so you're going to put charcoal in it, which if I can find a tin, I think I'm going to try and make some charcoal while I'm here on the bigger fire, up on the fire pit. But yeah, so that's my plan for tonight. And then yeah, breakfast will be the same thing really. Just get a little fire going, and just a little bit of, what have I got this tomorrow morning? Porridge, just porridge tomorrow morning, to be honest. So see, which I'll probably eat out of this. So boil the water up and just add the porridge to it. So yeah, going to be a good night really. I'm just going to chill out. The main camp, which I'm going to be just using for admin and sitting chilling, is just up there. So this is mainly just for tonight really. When I get probably like 6-7 o'clock, I'll come over here and just start chilling out. And yeah, I might bring over my little folding chair, because it would fit in my Bergen, my little one Tigris one. I think it's Promenade or something like that. That would have fitted in the Bergen, definitely. So I'm not going to show you all the kit that's in the Bergen. I'm not. So, but yeah. So yeah, I'll bring you back later when it's time to cook up some food. Okay, so it's time to get the fire going for some food. So I've got my billy can here, which I'm going to put some water in. So just splash of water in the bottom of there. And that's to do the rice. Now I want to get the fire going. I might just simply use one of the fire plugs or something. Yeah, let's go for a fire plug today. So just one of these little fire plugs. Just fluff it up, put a spark to it, and it lights for a while. So I'm just going to put a little bed in the bottom of there. I've got my little sticks snapped up, ready to go, and as you can hear, they are very, very dry. So give this a bit of a fluff up. Open up all those fibres. The more surface area there is, the better it'll light. These are just like waxed cotton ball type things, which are really compact little plugs, which are waterproof. So just got to try and break them apart a bit to get as much surface area to get it to light as possible. So I'm going to cheat slightly, because I've got one with me. I'm going to use my lighter. So that's going to go in the bottom, and then once the flame's going, I'm going to chuck the rice in and get going. So always put your stuff away. So lay bits on top to get this going. Right, food then is going to be rice first. So I'm going to get that in and get that cooking. So it's just packet rice with lentil bolognese. Just chuck all that back in there. So I'm going to break the rice up. So it takes a bit of water to get this going, because you're just steaming the rice, not actually cooking it in the water. So I'm going to dump that in there. Do it back a touch because I'm cooking. Let's get my long handled spoon out. Which is typical, it's the only thing that didn't fall out. So as you can see, that fire is going pretty well now. I have cleared an area round because bits will kind of fall out, and I have got an extra bottle of water here just in case it does get a bit wild. So as I say, there's just a little bit of water in the bottom of there. Just going to break up the rice touch. Chuck a touch more water in. As you can see, this wood is really dry, so it's lighting quite easily. So chuck the wood on there, lid on there, sorry, get that over the top of the flame. I am going to take it off to kind of stir and mix it, just because it's easier to be near the flame with the heat at the minute. So these fire anchors work really well. They just work by friction. I'll raise it up a touch. So they just work by friction. So the weight on the little, if you want to put like a monkey's tail or whatever, helps it grip to the main rod. So I'm just going to let this cook away for the next probably 10 minutes. So it'll warm up the rice, and I'm just going to dump the lentil bolognese straight in there, so it'll just kind of cook with the rice once it's started to boil. So I'll bring you back once it's done. Okay, so the rice only took about 3 or 4 minutes just to steam through. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my lentil bolognese and I'm going to just dump it into the can. So this is one of the protein meals from, I think, Lidl or Aldi, this one. So I'm just going to dump it in there. Because of the weather at the moment, I was going to bring fresh food and so on, but I decided not to because of the weather. It being so hot that my cool box, which is only rated for about 2 days, I think wouldn't even work that well, to be perfectly honest, so I opted not to. So it's just meals like this, packet meals, rice, etc. So I don't think that's going to take long to cook, to be honest. So I'm just going to pop that back on there. I'm just going to whack it over the flame for a couple of minutes just to warm through, and then yeah, and get me food down my neck. I am just going to eat it straight out of the billy pot because it's just easy. So basically that's all it's going to need, is just a quick warm through. Trouble getting my gloves on because my hands are hot, swollen. I am going to keep the fire going a little bit because I need to do a little bit of washing up. So I'm just going to put a few sticks on there while I eat my food. If it goes out, I'll just relight it again. That's warm enough for me. So it's just a veggie meal. This is so a lentil, a lentil bolognese. But it's actually quite nice. So I'll bring you back in a bit once I've eaten and I've done my washing up. Okay, so food is done, washing up's done. I just have this little pouch here, which is a tiny towel with a little bit of washing up liquid and a scrubby. And all I do is just put some water in and warm the water through. Scrape off most of it with the spoon on the outside. Tiny little bit more water to tip that out. Tiny bit more water in, warm it up a touch with a bit of washing up liquid. Give everything a scrub and then just swill everything out. So that whole meal cost me about 600 millilitres of water, mainly washing the actual tub out. The meal I took a few splashes. So, but yeah, so it is quite warm at the minute. It's probably in the 30 degrees. That's that week when it's really warm. So, so I'm actually roasting from off the fire. So I'll let that die out now. To be honest, I don't need that again. But I like this little UCO fire pit. It does work well, and it has got some coals in the bottom of there. Like so, I mean, I'm only using large, so it doesn't coal up very well. So yeah, so I'm not going to leave it just yet because obviously it's a very dry woodland at the minute. I did clear a lot of the leaves away and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm just having a chill out. As I say, I'm absolutely sweating. I'm going to go and wet my little cloth that I've got here up there, and yeah, and kind of try and cool myself down a little bit. But yeah, it was a nice meal actually. They're Aldi, they are the little protein meals. They're only 99p. I have put together like my own ration pack, which I'll show you at a later date because I can just add some more stuff into it that I've eaten today. So and then I can show you I've made my own, like, not 24-hour, but probably like an evening meal and then a breakfast the next day, so like a 12-hour with some snacks and a brew kit. So it probably cost me in total what, £1.50 for them, bag of nuts 99p, a chocolate bar out of a multi-pack, so 20p, a couple of 3-in-1s, a soup out of a packet. So probably cost me in total probably about £3 for a meal, a packet that will last a good while, which I'll show you. I'll update it tomorrow and then I'll show you it, what I use in like a homemade 24-hour ration pack. So good morning, it's about 6 o'clock and yeah, just woke up. I've been up in and out for the last 3 hours because the thunder and lightning last night was quite loud and it was raining as well. So everywhere's a little bit soggy this morning, but I'm going to cook some breakfast in a bit. I have got some dry wood that I collected down there last night, so that shouldn't be too bad. I just have to get up and put my jacket on. So I used this thin woobie blanket thing for most of the night, and then as I say, I had to get up about I don't know, 3:30 to go to the loo and to put my jacket on because it was starting to get a bit chilly because of the rain was coming. So, but yeah, gonna have another 5 minutes and then get up and start sorting brekkie out. Okay, so it's time to get the fire ready for a brew first, and then I'll have some porridge in a bit. So I've got a handful of small twigs here as my kindling. A few more out. got this fire plug here, which is a different one than yesterday, and I've got some silver birch bark. So I'm going to light the fire plug, pop it on top of the silver birch bark, and it's kind of an upside down fire this is, so this should burn here and burn through. And I'm going to pop this on top as well, just to give it a bit more fuel. I'm going to use a long stick here to lift up the sticks to create some air. So I've got that there. So let's see how this fire plug, which is a different one, lights. It has lit up, so pop that on there. This birch bark I've had in my bag for absolutely ages, like the fire lighting kit. So that's lit up nicely. So I collected this wood last night because I checked the weather report and I knew it was going to rain. So I did collect up this wood last night. So it's just outside the tarp, shouldn't get too high. But to make the most of the early flame, I am going to start getting the billy pot right next to the fire. Get that water boiling and cooking. So as you can see, the fire is burning down towards the large stuff at the bottom. I have just gone and got some ash that I split down yesterday as well. So that worked pretty well between the silver birch and the fire plug. That worked quite well. The flame's about, I don't know, 3 feet away from the top of the tarp, so it should be alright with just this little fire going. So I'm going to get my brew on and have a coffee this morning, and then I'm going to do some porridge in a little bit.